So, when did you have your hip replacement? That's the question I get asked. When did you have your hip replacement? My name is Mr. 2020. You are listening to the Power of Imagination podcast, where we explore one thing, the power of imagination. And I invite you to discover the truth about you that sets you free, because it's not the rocks in the sky or where they are in the sky. It's not the rock in your pocket, no matter how lucky you think it is, or it is might think you rock. It is not the freaking rock, right? It's not the rock in your pineal gland either. There's one power, and that's the power of imagination. And as long as you deny that, as long as you deny you, as long as you deny your divinity, you're denying your desires. So let's dive in. So, for 3 or more years, my hip was shot. It was before COVID when I actually went to a doctor and said, "Look, I want a scan of my hip. I want X-rays and I want the ultrasound thing, the sonogram thing, whatever you call it." And she goes, "I don't think you have a hip problem." I said, "All right, this ought to be good." This is the one doctor I saw twice when I moved here, because immigration said I got to go see a doctor because of extreme hypertension. All right, we conquered that. Next. And now I went because every step was stabbing pain and I needed a walking stick. And she said, "I don't think you have a hip problem." I said, "Why?" She goes, "Because you're too young." I said, "Let me get this right. The last time I came here, you said I was old enough that you wanted me to start getting blood work every 6 months. Right, to make sure I don't die. That was, 7, 8, 9 years ago. And now you're telling me that I'm too young to have a hip joint problem without looking. Right? I'm that guy." She goes, "Get on the table." She goes, before I got on the table, she goes, "I think you have a hernia." I said, "I think you're wrong." And she felt around and did some things and she goes, "Oh, wow, you got a hip problem." I said, "Hey, thanks, Sherlock." So she gave me the paperwork and I was upset. It's like, you know what? Yeah. If this is how she treats her patients, and this is how I got to treat her, you get us a little antagonistic, and that's fine. That's where I was at the time. So I didn't go. And then COVID came along and things got really weird in Australia. You had to get shots to go to the doctor and you had to wear a mask to go get. It was just really weird. And I said, "Nah, forget it. I'm staying at home." And my hip got worse and it got worse and it got worse and it got worse. And in 2023, it started getting incrementally better. But I was still taking a lot of painkillers and walking with a walking stick in 2023. Christmas Day, 2023, I had an epiphany. That's the day I got my replacement. I was sitting back here at the cottage in my Ames chair, smoking a cigar, drinking a good whiskey. I opted out. I didn't want to go to the holiday thing, sit in uncomfortable chairs, listen to uncomfortable conversations. And so I'm sitting in my comfy Ames chair back here at the cottage, drinking a fine whiskey, enjoying a fine cigar, and it hit me. Long story short, I stopped using remembering when as a weapon, which is what most people do. And I shifted my identity in a way that I didn't know was possible. And I'm the guy that made up identity-based manifesting. And those two shifts have entirely changed my life. Since then, all the experts at the pool, all my old friends that I see occasionally or every week, they say, "When did you get your hip replacement?" I've had that question asked to me at least 20 times by the experts and by the other cool kids. When did you get your hip replacement? And I tell them I got my replacement Christmas Day. But I didn't replace my hip, I replaced me. And we put that in identitybasedmanifesting.com. And we did a call about remembering when. It's in the 2024 series. Because so many people are using remembering when as a weapon and they don't realize it. And I was using remembering when as a weapon and not realizing it. And I found a really cool way to use it to create what we call resource states. And I can't go into that here. We talked about it for, an hour and a half, 2 hours. If you want to explore it with us, go to NevilleGoddardStore.com and get the Remembering When recording. It's in the 2024 Personal Transformation series, which is all about this. It's transformation science. And of course, IdentityBasedManifesting.com, because it's not just about changing, yep, that's the label I put on myself. This is how I think about myself. It's about exploring and expanding your identity. BasedManifesting.com. That's IdentityBasedManifesting.com. So, I can tell you what every step of stabbing pain feels like, and having stabbing pain every step, trying to get the closest park to the door, leaving the house as little as I had to. All right. We got background noise. Hopefully this doesn't bother things. We'll let that go through. I'll edit this part out. Edit. All right. Sounds like he's turning around. Meanwhile, can you imagine what it's like to go from needing a walking stick? I only ever had one hand free for years. Now I can stand on one leg and do very slow, controlled kicks. That's hard. Most people can throw a fast kick, but can they throw a slow one? I can do that now. And I can strut, I can skip, I can even do some really crude moonwalking. Oh yeah. This is the science of personal transformation, accepting the truth about you that sets you free. It's not about self-improvement or progress. It's about transformation, the science of miracles. If you want to dive deeper, if you want to soar higher with us, I just gave you some invites. You can always email me and reach out. I love that. But it really is about exploring the truth about you that sets you free, instead of trying to solve a problem. By the way, you'll notice I never imagined my hip better. I imagined kung fu kicking. I imagined strutting up the steps. I imagined things that were very personal to me, that matter. Getting compliments. I love compliments. Problems are universal, and there is no power in a problem. They're problematic, that's for sure, and you feel powerless when you focus on them. On the other hand, desires are personal. Neville Goddard says the moment a desire is upon you, that's when you accept your wish in its fullness, and we explore all the hows and whys behind that so that it's fun. Because every desire has its own plan, its own power of fulfillment. And you get to get out of the way and enjoy the dance and the discovery. My name is Mr. 2020. Let's imagine up something yummy, like always be investing as we go into the silence. So I don't imagine anything about the doctor. I don't imagine my hip healing itself and the cells regenerating and all that stuff. I imagine what implies what I actually want. I want to love my body. I want to love being in my body and not have my body be a burden. There's my desire. And how do I experience that? Damn, I didn't even recognize you. Yeah, I enjoy strutting up the steps. I enjoy being able to throw cool kicks very slowly. But this is the power of personal. Let's dive deeper. Let's soar higher. Thanks for listening. Feel free to like, share, or comment. Sharing is caring. And if you want more, go to NevilleGoddardStore.com. See ya.